Welcome to News Breakdown. In this episode, we'll be looking at electric vehicles that will be released in the near future. So to kick off the list, we have the Rivian R1T. This is the first offering from Rivian. It is tipped to be the first EV pickup truck. It is safe to say the Rivian pickup truck is perhaps the most anticipated upcoming electric vehicle. You can see why. The design is incredible and it looks absolutely magnificent. One of the advantages of the Rivian design is that the whole base of the car can be used for multiple models without the need to make any changes. It is essentially a huge electric skating board, which gives the company a huge advantage over their competitors. Of course, most of their competitors, namely Tesla, do not want any of their technology in the hands of any other people. Down to the T, of course, you have people that have actually started to make a living on actually repairing Tesla vehicles in the form of rich rebuilds. He's one of the notable ones that is out there, so you can see the advantage. And that supposedly a deal has been struck between Ford and Rivian in relation to supplying the bases for Ford's vehicles. So we saw Ford actually releasing the Mustang, which was the electric version. It is tipped that any future iterations of that particular model or of that vehicle will be sitting on Rivian bases. The Rivian R1T houses quad motors, independent air suspension, intelligent battery management system, hydraulic roll control system and thermal systems. The Rivian electric drive delivers instant power and torque exactly where it's needed through 4 independent motors. Some of the key stats from the Rivian R1T are: base range will offer a 230 mile plus range, and the next model available will give you a 300 plus mile range, and the top 180 kilowatt per hour battery that they do offer for the R1T will give you a 400 plus mile range. Of course, the 3 different battery configurations will perform differently depending on what you're doing and what you're using the vehicle for. All of the configurations will come with 4 motors, which are all-wheel drive. Rivian targets a starting price of about $69,000 for the R1T for the base version, but the automaker notes that top level versions will be sold first, and we suspect that these will go for about $100,000. So they'll obviously want to recoup as much money as they can back into the company in order to actually get some money back on all the research and the development that was undertaken. So Rivian offers a sister car to the R1T, which is a pickup truck. However, this is the R1S, which is essentially will come with a similar configuration to the R1T. However, it is estimated that the base model will cost $72,000. It will be able to sit 7 passengers, and bearing in mind both vehicles are slated to be released in 2021. So the R1S is a sport utility vehicle, and to add to the pricing, the R1S will be cheaper than the Model X when it does go onto sale in 2021. The SUV will be capable of doing 0 to 60 in only 3 seconds, which is absolutely incredible for an SUV. And again, every version of the R1S has an electric motor at each wheel, giving it all-wheel drive like its brother. I also do believe Rivian will be a welcome challenger in the electric vehicle market. Of course, the big players, the traditional fossil fuel based car manufacturers, are trying to muscle into this particular space. However, they will always be synonymous for producing cars that are fossil fuel based, which in turn means for me, customers won't really gravitate to their products in the same way customers gravitated towards the Tesla vehicles, the innovation that Tesla produced. It just seems as if everyone else is playing catch up. However, Rivian are slotted and are placed in a very interesting position. They have a very big part to play in all of this, and of course it will certainly get interesting as the years go by. I do believe by the time we get to 2022 we will have multiple big electric vehicle companies. As it stands, Tesla is much more valuable than General Motors, which was classed as the biggest car manufacturer in the world. Tesla's shares skyrocketed, and they are slated to have a very big bumper year, of course, considering how things have turned out so far due to the coronavirus. It doesn't seem as if that this year will be that big bumper here, but as we go into 2021, they will be in a great position as well. The technology is going to get better. Governments around the world will start to impose certain rules and restrictions. For example, in the UK, by 2040, all fossil fuel based vehicles should not be on the roads. So essentially everyone will have an electric vehicle, and Tesla and companies like Rivian, which is the company that we have looked at in this particular episode, are poised to be the huge big players, and we can see a massive shift towards electric vehicles. And the numbers for electric vehicles skyrocketed last year in 2019. Bar from what's happened now, I'm sure the trajectory would have remained the same, and the numbers would have continued to rise and rise in terms of the amount of people that are going out to purchase electric vehicles. So of course, this is something we will certainly keep an eye on in terms of how this space develops in the near future. Some notable cars really that we can mention as well from the big players, the traditional fossil fuel based companies, is the Audi e-tron. It looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. It is deemed to be the answer to the Model X by Tesla. It will start at $75,000, and that will be for the base model. And in terms of the performance itself, the base model, you will get a 234-mile range, which is not bad, which seems to be the market standard for big SUV type vehicles. The Jaguar I-Pace is another vehicle that is coming from one of the big players, $70,000 starting price, and this is slated to be released in 2020. But again, we go back to the whole situation of how things are at the moment. We will see if this car will be released. It's tipped to have a range of about 253 miles. So again, not so bad really in terms of that range, creeping ahead in comparison to the cars that we have looked at. It's not the nicest looking thing, but Jaguar are taking slow strides towards entering this particular space of the EVs. We have another one, the Mercedes-Benz EQC, starting at 68,000 US dollars. And in terms of the range on this particular vehicle, you're looking at a range of about the 230-mile mark. And Mercedes claims that the EQC recharges from 10% to 100% in 10 hours, which is quite quick. With the standard DC fast charger in use, going from 10% charge to an 80% charge takes 40 minutes. So that's absolutely incredible. But a lot of these companies tend to announce these features, and when we get the actual vehicles on the road, or once the vehicles are available on the market, they never meet those specs. But it's yet to be seen. So that's my quick overview and my quick little roundup on electric vehicles of the future, or electric vehicles that we should look forward to in the near future. So if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, or if you're listening to the podcast and you're not subscribed to the podcast, please do hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching News Breakdown.